Mi nombre es Jocelyn Rejas. Yo estudié Derecho.
My name is Jocelyn Rejas. When I was in university, I started studying law because I really thought we could make the world a better place. But then, when I learned how the country works, I ended up very depressed.
La corrupción del Perú es un mal endémico, ¿no?
Corruption in Peru is endemic. It is a reality that has been with us for centuries. We have high levels of poverty, and corruption drains funds that should be used for hospitals and other solutions that would improve our situation. I think there is a very high level of frustration and helplessness of not having the ability to change things.
Recently, it was discovered that a network of professors were charging their students to pass their classes. This is happening at all of the universities, despite policies to try to stop it. I've heard Christian students who say, "I had no other choice. I had to pay the teacher, otherwise I would fail."
Hay muchos grupos estudiantiles.
There are many student groups that have normalized all of this corruption. They say, in the end, it doesn't matter. It'll always be like this.
When we normalize corruption within the university, what can we expect when those students go on to become professionals and leaders of the country? It's as if we've been told from the beginning, this is how the world works.
Mi trabajo diario.
In my daily work, I talk to students. There is a sense of chaos, like they are in a tunnel with no way out. But young people today are not passive. They have questions, and they want answers to those questions.
I heard a leader at church say once, Christians do not have a responsibility to end racism or poverty. He even quoted the verse that says that poor will always be among us, and said, why should we focus on poverty? It raised a question in me. Does the Lord really not want Christians to get involved in these things?
Many churches have not developed a commitment to holistic mission, not necessarily because they do not want to, but because their biblical, theological, and pastoral formation have been very limited.
I believe that a pastor who does not read does not grow. The growth of the pastor, what he teaches, is an extension of who he is. If he is nourished, he will also be able to nourish his congregation. So reading is something vital to the development of pastoral ministry in Latin America. Young people have many questions, and we need books that answer these questions.
Soy Benjamín Bravo.
I am Benjamín Bravo. I am a pastor in the Peruvian Evangelical Church, and I'm also a co-founder of the Christian publishing house Ediciones Puma. As a university student, I remember looking for books that could respond to the very complicated problems we were experiencing in our nation at the time. Problems of political violence, corruption, and injustice. But the vast majority of books we had were translations from the United States, and they did not address the issues we were facing. A small group of us came together to form Ediciones Puma, with the mission of providing the tools that can enable the church to respond to this context. In 1992, we produced our first book. There were many challenges in those early days, many of which we still face today. Christian publishing is not a profitable business in Latin America. It is a ministry. Books are complicated and expensive to produce. One of the biggest challenges in the beginning was finding authors to write. Then, once we had the authors, how do we distribute their books? How do we get them to the pastors and libraries that need them, but in many cases don't have the funds to purchase them? Financial support from Langham for the publication of our titles was essential in order to make that a reality. From those early days, we have seen the church in Latin America begin to work on issues such as human rights, violence, women's issues, and corruption.
Entonces,
When I suddenly see a book that talks about a reality that is very close to me, I do get emotional. I even cry. So when I suddenly see books that talk about issues like these in Peru, it moves me a lot. I discovered Ediciones Puma when I was a student. Their books have helped me understand that there was a social responsibility for all people in the face of what is happening in our country. They helped me recognize that human rights, a term often dismissed by churches as something political, can be seen through a Christian lens. I think Puma's book have helped me broaden my vision of how to be a light in society and how I can be an agent of change. When I started reading Darío López's books on a biblical view of human rights, politics, and justice, I said, "This is my reality." I've also been able to share with my fellow law students and ask, how will we make an impact as lawyers?
Seeing students using Puma's books really brings us satisfaction, knowing that we can impact young people who are the present and future of the church.
La ayuda de Langham.
Langham's support for Ediciones Puma has been very important. Without Langham, we would not have been able to provide books that are so important for pastors who preach to our Latin American reality. Langham has also supported us in providing books to seminary libraries, and we have used those funds to benefit libraries that are far from Lima.
We use Puma's books for every topic we teach here. So every student who comes through has been impacted by Puma's books in some way.
Puma's books are written in simple language and from a Latin American context, so they are very easy to understand. They have been very useful to me as I studied to be a pastor to the Quechuan people.
Los libros que nos han alcanzado de Ediciones Puma.
The books we have received from Ediciones Puma are practical. We serve here in the Villa El Salvador district of Lima, an area with many social problems like poverty, violence, and crime. Puma's books have helped us to build a bridge between theology and our social reality.
Sometimes when you hear a message that you can see is really hitting home and doing a good job of explaining the Bible, and you might hear that the sermon quotes books we've published, that gives us great joy because it shows us that the mission for which Ediciones Puma was formed is fulfilling its task. All the work Langham has done with us in building, developing, and expanding our publishing house has been very important. For example, Langham created a fund to help support libraries that needed it. In that way, our literature reached, for example, the library in Sequani, and in libraries all over the country. Langham also provided connections with bookstores outside of Peru, so that we could begin to have an impact beyond our Peruvian context. On top of that, Langham has helped support the authors of many of our books. There's Darío López, Alex Chang, Milton Acosta, and others. We recognize that we have contributed a little bit, a grain of sand to our Latin American reality. Brothers and sisters across Latin America tell us, Puma's books are paving the way, and that makes us very happy, but there's still a long way to go.
I would like to tell Langham's donors that their contribution is very important for Latin America. May the Lord continue to bless them and place in their hearts a desire to continue supporting us at Ediciones Puma.
I know there are many people who are financially supporting the work that Langham does, and we encourage them to continue doing so, because Latin America needs books that reflect our realities. We want a continent with less corruption, less injustice, more equality between men and women, and ultimately a continent that can be new again.
I almost gave up on my dream of becoming a lawyer. My community, though, and the books I read from Puma helped me see how to connect my faith with my professional practice. It was like falling in love again with my mission. Despite all the challenges we face in Peru, I've learned that I can contribute to changing the culture, even in small ways. Today, I'm a lawyer working in family law. My hope is that God can use me to encourage other students to have a faith that pushes them to read, to debate, to dialogue with other students about what they are experiencing. Recently, I have been thinking about writing, so who knows, someday you may see a Puma book that has my name on it.